Be healthier, save more money, grow my business, and be more consistent. I know, cool goals. Incredibly useless written down. And I say that with love because I've written every single one of these on a list at some point and felt genuinely accomplished doing it. Like the act of writing, the goal was already half the work. It's not half the work. It's not any of the work. It's just words on a page until you figure out what you're actually supposed to do on a Tuesday morning to make any of it real. And that's what today is about. How to take big, vague, Pinterest board versions of your goals and turn them into something you can actually act on daily without having to re-motivate yourself from scratch every single morning. Because let's face it, it's not that I'm lazy. It's just that I don't have the right system, the mentality. So let's get into it. First, I want to address something because I think it's important. When people don't follow through on their goals, the narrative is almost always the same. I just didn't have enough motivation. I wasn't disciplined enough. I need to want it more. Not familiar? Maybe a little bit. And I genuinely disagree with that framing. Most of the time, the problem isn't motivation. The problem is that the goal was never clear enough to act on in the first place. Think about it. Be healthier. What does that mean on a Wednesday at 7 p.m.? What is the specific action? There isn't one. So your brain, which is very good at taking the path of least resistance, just doesn't do anything. And then you feel bad about it, and the cycle continues. I know that too well. Vague goals produce vague behaviors, and vague behaviors produces nothing. The fix isn't to want it more. The fix is to get specific enough that your future self, who is tired, busy, and looking for any excuse to skip, knows exactly what to do and can't talk themselves out of it. So here's the system that I want to walk you through. 4 steps. I'm going to use the same example the whole way through so you can see how it works in practice. Our example for today is, I want to get better at managing my money. Classic, vague, completely useless as an instruction. Let's fix it. So step 1. Define what done actually looks like. The first question to ask about any goal is, how would I know if I achieve this? Get better at managing my money has no finish line. You can't cross it. You can't measure it. Not really. You'll never feel like you got there because there is no there. So we have to define it. What does better at managing money actually look like in your life? So does it mean having a monthly budget? Does it mean having 3 months of savings built up? Does it mean paying off specific debt? Does it mean understanding where every dollar goes at the end of the month? Pick one, just to start. Let's say the answer is, I want to know exactly where my money is going every month. Because now we have something. It's not fully actionable yet, but it's a real thing that we can point to. That's step 1. Make it specific enough that you'd recognize it if you had it. Step 2. Work backwards from the outcome. All right, we're narrowing it down a little bit. Step 2 is where a lot of people skip ahead, and that's where things kind of fall apart. You have your specific goal. The instinct is to jump straight into, okay, what do I do every day? But there's a middle step. You need to work backwards from the outcome to figure out what actually needs to happen to get there. So, to know where my money is going every month, what needs to exist? You need to track your spending, which means you either need a system, an app, a spreadsheet, or something, and a habit of actually logging things or reviewing them regularly. So now we have 2 things, a system to set up and a habit to build. That's very different from manage money better. We're getting somewhere. Ask yourself, what are the 2 or 3 things that would have to be true for my goal to happen? Those are your levers. Focus there. Step 3, turn your levers into specific weekly actions. Because we're really just trying to break it down at this point. This is a bit of a wish because there are things we got to start pulling here. We've established that to know where our money goes, we need a tracking system and a review habit. So what does that look like as a specific weekly action? Something like every Sunday for 15 minutes, I'm going to open my budgeting app and categorize the week spent, a time, a duration, a specific action. Your future self on Sunday evenings knows exactly what to do. Exactly. There is no, but what does that even mean? It's either it happened or it didn't. And that's what we're going for. Something specific enough that it fits in the calendar. Specific enough that you can tell someone else to do it and they would know what you meant. And notice, 15 minutes, it's small on purpose. The goal of the habit isn't to overhaul your finances in one sitting. The goal of the habit is to build consistent behavior that compounds over time. So start smaller than you think you need to, and you can always do more. Now, personally, I would actually pair this up with maybe watching something on Netflix or a YouTube video or something. So for as long as that's going, I'm going to pull out all my receipts, I'm going to pull out my logs, and I'm just going to log it. I'm going to write it all down. I'm going to throw it in a spreadsheet. I would want to make it easy for myself. So that would look like taking all the receipts I buy through the week and making sure I get the receipts and throwing them in one little box on the counter for my Sunday evenings. And a little terrifying to see that stack like start to pile up, to be honest. Step 4 is to stack it, anchor it, and protect it. It's really just making things stick because having a specific action is great. Actually doing it consistently is a whole nother challenge. So step 4 is about making a habit as easy to start as possible. 3 tools for this. Stack it. This is where you attach a new habit to something you already do consistently. So every Sunday when I make my morning coffee, I open my budgeting app. That existing habit becomes the trigger. You're not relying on remembering to do it. You're tying it to something that you already do on autopilot. Then you anchor it. Give it a fixed place in your week, not sometime on Sunday. No. Sunday morning, okay? Sunday morning. Not when I have the time, because you'll never have the time. You have to make it. Put it on your calendar like it's a meeting that you can't skip. Because honestly, it is. If it's important, it will go on your calendar and you will do it. Lastly, protect it. This one is underrated. Decide in advance what you'll do when something gets in the way, because something will get in the way. If I miss Sundays, I'll do it on Monday morning instead. Having a backup plan before you need it means a missed day doesn't turn into a missed month. Yes, it might be kicking the can down the line. I would say just kick it down once, okay? Once or twice. Don't try to go any further than that. It's messy. Too many cans, too many kicks. And then we just put it all together. Let's look at where we started versus where we ended up. Because the before was, I want to get better at managing my money. The after is, every Sunday morning while I make coffee, I spend 15 minutes on my budgeting app categorizing last week's spending. If I miss Sunday, I'll do it on Monday morning instead. Same goal. Completely different instruction. One of these your future self can act on. The other one is just a vibe, just an idea. Sounds great, cool. And here's the thing. This works for any goal. It does. Swap out manage money for grow my YouTube channel. And the process can be identical. What does done look like? What needs to be true to get there? What's the specific weekly action? How do I make it stick? So the framework doesn't care what the goal is. It just needs a goal specific enough to work with. And let's be real. This system works, but it doesn't work on autopilot forever. There will be weeks where the habit breaks, where life gets loud, where Sunday morning budget review just doesn't happen. And then it doesn't happen the next week either. And then suddenly it's been a month, and that's not failure. It's just being a person. The difference between people who build things slowly and people who give up isn't the one group never falls off. Okay, it's that one group has a shorter gap between falling off and getting back on. So they don't need to rebuild the motivation from scratch every time. They just return to the system. The system will always be there. You just kind of have to come back to it, which honestly is the most freeing thing about having one in the first place. You don't have to figure it out again. You already did that part. Just open the app on Sunday morning and that's it. You're back into it. So a vague goal, just pick one. Define what done looks like, work backwards to find your levers, and turn those levers into specific calendared action. Stack it, anchor it, protect it. That's it. That's the whole thing. I know. It sounds too simple. Sometimes. I get it. The simple is pretty much the point. I don't want to complicate my life. I don't need complicated systems in my life that I'm just going to get rid of. The goal is to simplify everything in your life. It just makes it easier. So a 15-minute Sunday habit is very hard to argue yourself out of. It's just 15 minutes. So if you try this one with one of your goals this week, I would love to know how it goes. Drop it in the comments. What it became after you ran it through the system. I'll let you know one of my more recent ones as well. And if you like the video, like and subscribe. If you want more on building systems that actually stick, do I have a video that actually sticks? And I will continue to try to find systems that work or myself. See how it goes. But I do like this one. This one combines a few different things that I've read in books and I put it into one. So yeah, anyways, if you think this video was a little bit helpful, just the tiniest bit, like and subscribe. Would help me out a lot. Would be grateful for it. With that, I'll see you guys in the next one. I swear this is an ad placement, but I do love this Walla bottle once again. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.